everybody. We are live. Right. Jamie, what happened?
Rude. What did you do to me?
Hey, I've been promoted. I'm on the top floor. That's excellent.
We can change that, even though you pay the bills. Even though you pay the bills, we're going to put you at the bottom. I am Louis Perry. That is Jamie Dolan. And this is Steve from CBC as one of our head sponsors right here on the show. So we're kind of obligated to have him on once a month. And actually, this is twice this month, man. We had one of your guys. We were talking backstage while we were at Colorado Springs Comic Con, and he actually killed it. No matter what he told you, he killed it. And Joe is in the house. Hey, Joe, what's going on?
Hi, Joe.
And Aviva, we missed.
Hello, Aviva. I miss being here too.
So Steve, we got to say he was a blast to have on the show, but I was a little offended. He was a part of the draw off, and the video will be posted shortly. And
this was my favorite part.
We always have audience participation when we do this, and he had told the audience that he wanted the two artists to draw me sleeping with the fishes.
He wanted me dead.
He told me that.
He told you that.
He did. He told me that. I'm like, you did what?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, we came out really. It was a good pictures. What's going on, Ali?
Hi, Ali.
Ali's got his own YouTube channel coming out, and he actually myself and DW from the Earplug Podcast Network to be on a special Superman the movie watch along, and I didn't tell Jamie we're going to be doing some of that. And Sean from Daydreaming Comics has come to visit. What's up, Sean?
Hello, Sean.
And Joe Squared.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Uncle Joe is in the house.
I missed all my Joes.
Yes, and he was wicked cool. We had a blast. Like I said, the whole Angry Geek Show panel will be up. We did debut a brand new game that we will be playing in Rhode Island. Now, Steve, are you going to be in Rhode Island?
Me, yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, good.
Positive.
Good,
I'm going to be in Rhode Island too, guys.
I know you are, because you have to be with me. So I know you're going to be at Rhode Island. I know. You're going to be a part. Steve, we want you to be a part of our newest game, which was a hit at Colorado Springs. Jamie and I are going to be coming up with some new scenarios for this game. It's called Angry Geeks What If? And I am volunteering you right now, my friend, to be one of the volunteers. You are volunteering to be a part of Angry Geeks.
You have been voluntold.
I've been volunteered. Okay. I'm ready. I don't know what it involves, but I'm down with it.
It's fun.
Yes,
well,
Aviva. Yes,
dark.
Aviva. It will be after dark. Colorado Springs Angry Geeks was after dark. And Jamie, would you say Angry Geeks What If? Was it a hit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I keep getting confused because your background. I'm like, what am I doing? That's not me. That's me.
I love this background now. I
do too. But
I'll change it really quick.
No, don't change it.
No, you sure? I'm thinking. I got to tell you what, the people they had us working with at Colorado Springs, the photography team was just top notch. The security team they had with us was top notch. I mean, the photos themselves, Steve, I mean, we couldn't get any better. I mean, I'm just so happy. The ARE network they just took care of Jamie and I, and it was awesome. It was a phenomenal time. And boss, I'm telling you, you missed out on a great weekend.
Rhode Island.
In the coming months, Jamie, I mean, I did make a special announcement with that new picture of you that I actually built that picture in the hotel room at Colorado.
When I was sleeping?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark May is in the house. How you doing, Mark?
Hi, Mark.
That in October. I'm just going to give a little hint of one of our guests that we're going to have toward the end of October. All I have to say is he's cool, he's cocky, he's bad. And that's all I'm going to say. Joe Square should know
I
who.
love him.
And Steve should know who it is by just those magic words that I
know
just
it's
said.
not me. I'm none of those. So
Lou thinks he is.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not playing this game.
What was that, Steve?
I've already forgot.
I was this close, Jamie, this close of actually buying something to wear when we seen this individual.
I'm this close to buying something for Rhode Island.
This close.
To like really throw people off.
And here's a little shout out for Ali Montgomery and his YouTube channel that we're going to be helping him out with. And it's Doodles.
No Anexo Doodles.
Yeah, there you go.
Love you guys. Love
Joe
you
McDonald says, I know who it is on that clue. Can't wait. Yep, I was this close of buying something, but it was the wrong color. It should have been blue or red, but it was just white, so I didn't get it.
There's still time.
There's still time. Yeah, it is. So, Steve, where were you during Colorado Springs Comic Con?
I was actually at a customer's house who invited me up to look at a 70,000 book collection. That
Wow.
Lou, that's more than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive. It's actually a collection that spans 3 generations. His grandfather was a collector that started it. His father also did it, and then this guy who's he's my age. He's working on it right now, and he's trying to get his kids into that as well. So this could possibly be something that spans 4 generations in his household, and it's pretty cool. At one point, I literally had to say, I'm so bored of seeing Fantastic Four's #1 because he had like 10 of them.
Really?
Including like, I would say 6 runs that spanned from #1 to like 300 for Fantastic Fours. It was just, what? And Amazing Spider-Man, #1 all the way through, and they had like multiple sets of this. It was
Look at Lou's face right now.
I know. So, what were the grading? I mean, were they?
They were all in very nice shape. I mean, he hasn't graded hardly anything in his collection, but he's just been one of these guys that he reads comics, but he also buys like 5 of every comic book that he wants to collect, and he bags and boards 4 of them and puts them away, and then reads 1 comic, and then eventually puts that away too. It's incredible.
Wow. Last weekend, Steve, I came across, my son and I came across an ad that was misplaced. Now, these are the type of ads that I like to find. It was miscatalogued online, and it was just fell into my lap, like most of the stuff that I find. And in that collection was a G.I. Joe 22. And the is beautiful. Next time we see it. Now, this is the first appearance of Storm Shadow. This is the Snake Eyes no dialogue issue. The book is beautiful. I mean, it's got some wear and tear. It's really, really good shape. I'm going to bring that for you to look at. Also in this collection, there was the famous Uncanny X-Men cover with Wolverine, Black Widow, and Captain America. Same collection. The last Dick Grayson Robin was in that collection. A lot of Superboy and a Legion of Superhero key issues were in that collection. The first Wolverine Deadpool was in that collection. And we got it for pennies on the dollar.
Love it. Good for you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of key books I'm gonna show you. It's just great. Joe Goulart wants to know if any of those books were submitted.
Not yet, Joe. This is something that we're sort of in discussions with to see how many he wants to do. And it's going to literally take probably 10 years for him to submit the even a fraction of this collection. So,
Oh.
I mean,
Wow.
One of the weird things, we were going through some of these boxes, and I just happened to pull out a brick. There had to be 20 of Ultimate Fallout number 4, and I just turned and I looked at it, and I'm like, just with this, because they were all high grade. I'm like, you've got like $70,000 worth of books right here in my hand. And
yeah, you can buy a house.
He didn't even know.
That's insane.
I'm like, why do you have so many? And he's like, I wanted the variant.
Yes, and that came in and exactly what I said, a down payment on a house at that point.
Yeah, Tom, you're right.
That is just insane. And this is that type of collection. I mean, that is a collection that I would love to come across in a while when I'm out hunting.
Yeah.
That right there is definitely a collection of the old lady or the old man who has the $100 bills inside their mattress. That's exactly what that is. You know? And Joe McDonald, that's right. 20 copies of the first Miles Morales.
I know.
Yeah. Just insane. Insane.
It was really nice. In fact, one of the nice parts about my job sometimes is I get to see books that you don't normally see. And this collection had so many pre-code horror books that with cover art that was just simply amazing. It was nice because his grandfather was into collecting horror books and westerns, which maybe not in everyone's wheelhouse, but still some of these books you just don't see. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. Is there any indies in there or you didn't see any?
I didn't.
You didn't see any indies?
Sure he has some, but there's
so 70,000 to go through. So, you know.
So what are you going to go back out there again, or is it? Was it a one and done?
Oh no, I'll probably have to go out there repeatedly for a while just to help him figure out what should be submitted first and go from there. It's going to be
just
fun,
insane.
Though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Axel says, "Hey Jamie, hey Lewis." I do want to say thank you to Axel. Jamie, Axel has actually came up with a new T-shirt design for us. It's a tie-dye design T-shirt, and I'm really getting anxious to see it. And Steve,
what?
We're getting ready to get that T-shirt out to you because the website is just about fixed, so you can click that button.
Good.
So we didn't forget about that. And we have another comment from Aviva. Hey, want to read that?
She says, I hope he doesn't have a fire because that's going to be very hard to prove to an insurance company.
I mentioned that, and he had a look of horror on his face, even mentioning that. And especially because it was like, just a week or so removed from when we had some flooding in that part of the state. So when the hurricane sort of came through.
Yeah.
Some of the things you have to think about.
Wow. So Steve, looking at this big collection and everything going on, have you had a chance to at least see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Nine Rings?
No, I haven't. I have been traveling, or it's been, I think, traveling 13 out of 15 days. It's been insane.
Holy moly!
I know. Wow. This was the first day home, literally. I thought my daughter was going to be like, who's this stranger in my house?
You have to spend it with us, young lady, not just spending it with me. Spending it with both of us. Well, and hold on one second. We have another comment from Tom Novak. Hey, Jamie, you want to read this really quick?
Yeah, Tom says, "Hey Steve, most folks don't know about the keyword discount CBCS offers. I don't know if it's worth mentioning for folks to sign up for the CBCS newsletter."
Yeah, right now the promo codes are sent out, and promotional information are sent out to anyone that's on our email mailing list. So if you're a member of CBCS and you don't have to submit anything to be a member, you can just log in and create an account and put your email in. You will get updates on promotional codes and things like that. So it's fairly easy to do.
And Joe Goulart, the same here, Uncle Joe. The same here. Yeah, Jamie, you want to read that one?
Yeah, Joe says, "Every comic, art page, and graded book is inventoried, and my insurance agent has a copy."
So, Steve, you're going to be a fish out of water here. Jamie and I both had seen Shang Chi.
Yes.
I do want to talk about it because I have to say, I was under the impression that the movie was not going to be very good. I mean, I was reading all kinds of articles prior to the movie release, and then I was like, I want to see it, and then there was this feeling of dread that it wasn't going to be very good. But from what I'm hearing from people that saw it, they're saying it's one of the better movies that
I loved it.
I walked into the theater with a gray cloud hanging over my head because it wasn't Shang-Chi. Point in case, this is Shang-Chi to me. Okay, this is Shang-Chi right here. This will always be, you know, I'm a fan of the Mike Zeck covers.
Right.
And when I found out that Fu Manchu, spoiler alert for those that have not seen it yet, Steve, I'm sorry about this. I'm going to spoil it for you. In the movie, Fu Manchu is not his father. Okay. I was like, how is that going to work? Fu Manchu has always been Shang-Chi's father. And I'm like, I'm not going to like this movie. I'm not going to like this movie. I sat down. I watched it. I was blown away. Shang-Chi's fighting style in the comics, as you know, throughout the 70s and into the 80s, the way each artist drew him, Ernie Chan to Mike Zeck, they drew his fighting style very much as Bruce Lee. Very, you know, that's how they drew him. Mm-hmm. In the film, his fighting style was very much like Jackie Chan. So they updated, you know, very much Jackie Chan, Jet Li. It worked. It was fantastic. I was just glued to the screen from the second it started to the time it ended. I thought it was fantastic. I would see it again, and I would definitely buy the Blu-ray or get the Movies Anywhere code because I thought it was funny. You know,
it was everything I thought was great. The comedy in it and the humor was so my type that, you know, it like wasn't over the top and everything just kind of flowed. It was so good. I didn't tell Lou I was going to see it, so I texted him.
Yeah, you texted me right away. He was like, I loved it, and
yeah, and he knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Jamie. Did you cry?
I did.
Really?
Oh my God. Like the whole end fight battle, I was just like tears the entire time because I was so excited and so just like everything that was happening. I was like, oh my God. It was just awesome.
The tie-in?
There was me and one guy in the theater. We were yelling and clapping and I was like jumping out of my chair. I'm ridiculous. My kid was so embarrassed.
Well, see, I was doing the same thing. I went with, I took my son and my adopted kid. I had Cody and Neil. Cody was embarrassed because I was calling out the different fighting systems that Shang-Chi was using. I mean,
I was like,
he was using Tiger. Next thing he was using Crane, and he was using Mantis, switching over the monkey style. and he was actually in Kung Fu, and I was like, oh my god! And I'm like naming off all these different styles, and then he switched over to Wing Chun when he was on the bus, and I'm like, whoa!
Oh, that bus scene was amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like naming off all these different fights, and Cody's like, shh, shh, shh. I'm like, there's no one around us. I mean, I was just like,
oh, there were people in the theater, and
yeah,
there was the one guy by himself, and there was these two kids over to the right that were like diagonal from me, and they kept talking, and I wound up, I was either going to beat the crap out of them or I had to tell somebody, so I actually got up and told on them. I go to the kid, and I'm pretty sure the kid that yelled at them was younger than they were, but I go up to the thing, and I'm like, somebody's got to do something about these kids, or you're going to have a live action remake of this movie in that theater, like right now.
It was definitely it was worth going to the theater to see it, and the effects were great. To see Wong on the big screen again, the hidden characters. I mean, I had no spoilers whatsoever for me, Steve. Wong from Doctor Strange was in it. Trevor Slattery.
That was so good too.
Yes, Trevor Slattery was in it. The cut scene at the end with the
which one? The end?
Yeah, at the end. No, not at the end.
First one.
Scene with the Avengers with Carol Danvers, T'Challa's sister. That was just so cool because it solidified them, Shang-Chi now as a part of the Avengers, and I was just like, whoa, just cool. Now they're saying. I did see somewhere that Shang-Chi is going to make an appearance in the next Spider-Man film. He's going to have a quick cameo, which I think is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Spider-Man either.
I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about that, but
I did hear about that, yeah.
Steve, if I were you this weekend or when you're settled down.
If we have time.
Definitely go see it because myself I would go to the theater and see it again. I loved it. The Abomination in the film looked right out of the comics, and I liked how he and Wong, the chemistry between the two characters, it was really cool how they did it. There was definitely major throwbacks to Iron Man 3. I dug it, man. I'm going to give Shang-Chi a good solid 4 out of 5 Angry Geeks shields. Definitely recommend it. Go check it out. 4 out of 5. Jamie, how about you?
I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5.
4 and a half. Well, look at you.
Okay, you guys got to rank the film to the other, let's say, non-Avenger films that are out there.
All right, Jamie, you go first.
I think it was way better than Black Widow, the new one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
agreed.
Way better. Like way.
Like better than Winter Soldier?
I agree.
That's tough.
That one is tough.
I feel like they're on different levels.
Yeah, I think Winter Soldier was more adult, Steve.
Yeah, it was more serious. Okay. Where this is it's definitely more like the girl that's his best friend was
Katie.
Raya in Raya. Was it Raya in the dragon or something like that? She's the dragon, and I kept hearing her sing the dragon, but like I liked that, and she's awesome. She's hilarious. But it didn't have such a serious tone, and I think that's one of the reasons that I liked it as much as I did. But I love the serious ones too. It just had to.
Aviva says that it's more mystical, which it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
But it was
really funny.
More,
was it on the same type of humor as like Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film?
Yes. Yeah, especially the cut scene.
It is similar to that.
Shang-Chi and Star-Lord are kind of the same.
Really?
They're both goofballs. Let's just put it that way. Brian Rose. Hello, Brian. How you doing, brother? Nice to see you. because there is a running joke about being mature.
Yeah.
And there is, hold on one second, guys.
Ow. What are you doing? Are you farting or something?
No, I'm not farting. That's your job.
I actually thought that's what was happening.
Rose is
He's
laughing
like
at you.
sitting
Rose had to walk around the camera, and she didn't want to
He's just
interrupt the
sitting there, and
stream.
he says, "Hold on, guys," and he's just grinning. I'm like,
Because I was watching, I had to break the illusion here. I was watching my wife walk behind the camera. Star Lord and Shang-Chi, almost the same character, but two different. And Brian Rose said, "Hold on one quick second. I thought someone was walking around him on."
Brian, don't let him think that he was.
She was walking in front of me, Brian. She was walking in front of me. Shang-Chi with the whole. I don't want to wreck the joke for Steve, but the whole or. The whole running joke where go home and get some sleep, or that was very much like Star-Lord. They're telling him that he needs to get his rest. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. But he just keeps going. Him and Katie, his best friend, are like, and they end up getting into these.
It kind of, and there's this constant play of like, when are we going to get real jobs, from their whatever little like part-time job things they have going on. And,
yeah,
so there's a lot with maturity, and
a lot of it has to do with maturity. So you could say that Star-Lord, like how I just compared Star-Lord and Shang-Chi, are pretty much on par. I think the two characters in the MCU will get along fantastically. Because they're
if they don't kill Star-Lord in the next movie.
I know
they did drop some hints
that.
Didn't the director say that somebody on the team is going to die in the film?
Well, we did have someone crack that code. We did have a guest a couple weeks back, and the color scheme for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, if you remember right, I forget who the guest was, and I really would like to give him credit. Maybe Jamie, maybe you will remember. But he said Guardians of the Galaxy, the original one, the color scheme was all brown and green. And that signified Groot dying, which he did. He sacrificed himself for the team.
Yeah.
Volume 2, the color scheme was the character that sacrificed themselves in that film. The color scheme in this next one is Rocket's color. So our guest that we had on is like, wow, it's gonna be Rocket. Rocket's gonna be the one to bite the dust. And I don't know who said it for the life of me. And I have to go back and look at the footage.
I don't remember.
Do you remember that being said, though?
I remember the conversation. I can't remember who said it.
Yeah, and somebody said it was going to be Rocket. I just don't remember who it was. What are your thoughts on that, Steve? Do you think it's going to be Rocket?
Not Rocket. I think he's one of the funnier characters in the MCU. I think that there's still a lot of development that they could do with him, quite frankly, and I don't know. It would be a shame if they killed him off in the movie, but they killed Iron Man, so I guess everyone's no one's safe.
Right. True.
Yeah, that's very true. But now they're saying that they're negotiating to bring back Chris Evans as Captain America, which I really hope so. I hope they do, and I hope they do bring Jackman back as Wolverine because I want to see that icon. Wait. Just hear me out, please.
Lewis, we had this.
No, you got to hear.
Turn the page.
No.
It's like it's.
I want to see the iconic cover.
There you go.
Turn the page.
Turn the page.
All right, he's the boss. He pays the bills. We got to turn the page. At least, I just want to see the iconic cover come to life. There we go. There you go. I am excited for Spider-Man. the next Spider-Man to come out. Do you think with all these Easter eggs that are dropping, how do you feel about the film? How do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to be overhyped? Do you think it's going to go over?
I have a lot of faith in these movies, but it seems like there's so much that is going to be going on in this movie. I'm just wondering if they're going to try to do too much. I mean, I don't know. It seems when I look at it, I'm just like, the last two Avenger films, they split it up into two films. So why are they trying to cram everything? It looks like this is going to be one of those movies that's going to be long and a lot is going to be going on, but why not just do two movies? That's my thought.
True. Yep, I kind of feel the same way with Flashpoint. And right now, I don't know if Jamie, you feel this way, or if any of our listeners or Steve, if you feel this way. With Flashpoint, I feel bad for Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's out there trying to promote his new movie. Well, I believe it's called The Protege. He's trying to promote that movie, and everyone is bringing up the point and the fact that he's wearing the bat suit again. And the guy is trying to promote this movie, and everyone, but you're wearing the suit again. What's it like working with Ben Affleck, but him wearing the bat suit? And what's this? And what's this? It's like, guys, let him promote the movie that he's working on and wait to promote Flashpoint. Flashpoint is still being filmed, and that's all they're talking about is Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck being together. They're not even talking to Ezra about being the Flash, and they're jumping right past the Robert Pattinson Batman. They're like over him, getting right to Flashpoint. And I think it's going to be way too much in that movie. I'm looking forward to it. We all know I'm a deep by heart, but like Steve was saying about Spider-Man, Far From Home, I think that the same thing is going to happen. They're going to put way too much into this movie.
I think the best part of the Marvel movies are the interactions between the characters as much as the excitement and the fight scenes and all that stuff. But it's the human aspect of the humor, the joking that goes around. And if you're trying to do too much, you lose so much of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. I would rather see them not rush through something, but I don't know.
What do you think?
Maybe they are in a rush to try to get to the next round of Spider-Man movies that they can get out there and have a little bit more original scripting and stuff like that.
I just hope they don't get rid of Tom Holland. I think he does the character justice, and I think he's the best Spider-Man to date. To me, he is Spider-Man. The kid is a lot better.
He's a really good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's a lot better than Tobey Maguire and 1,000 times better than Andrew Garfield. Tom Holland, he embraces the character of Spider-Man. To me, I think that, even Nicholas Hammond, the original Spider-Man from the 70s, the first live-action Spider-Man, Tom Holland is Spider-Man. He plays it 100% to perfection, I believe.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I might be biased, but that's how I see it. I think that he's...
No, I agree. He's my favorite.
All right. Titans. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I have not watched Titans.
Really?
Because I have to tell you, I'm like finally watching season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Is that because we met everyone?
Why are you wasting your life by not watching these things?
I just don't have time. I got this horse last September, and that's all I do now is go to the farm. So I watch Mandalorian on my lunch break every day, which it's so good. So Titans is next. I think I don't know how far I am. I just watched the episode today where they take Grogu.
Oh, you're getting close. Yeah.
So I figured I got to be close. So yeah, I'm almost done that, and then I'm gonna watch Titans.
Uncle Joe says
Joe, that's mean and hurtful.
Well,
I apologize.
I do have to admit, while we were in Colorado for that week, Jamie and I did have plans.
Oh my God! Every night, we gotta watch What If.
Yeah, we did have plans of going back to
even turn the TV on.
Yes, we had plans of going back to our hotel room and watching What If or watching Titans, watching something every night.
Wait, can I say we just got hello Ezekiel from Paraguay? I think that's the farthest fan that we might have.
Yes, hello Ezekiel. How are you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. So, Steve, this is what happened. First of all, I have to thank my sister over here for keeping me safe, especially I had a hell of a week that week. She kept me safe.
Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about Colorado because we
will. She made me walk 18 miles to Target, Steve.
No, first of all, it wasn't 18 miles, and let me tell you, my pinky toe on my left foot is still numb from wearing my Wonder Woman shoes. I think I did some kind of permanent nerve damage in my foot from wearing my Wonder Woman shoes 2 days in a row.
Okay, how far away from Target that you made me walk?
Oh my God, it was like a block.
No, it wasn't. It was like.
So Louis, the question is, what's the farthest you've ever walked without stopping?
Right. I mean,
no, seriously.
If you ever pay attention to any of the cons that we go to, there's always this tragic walk that I make him do. Like Empire State, he had to walk from my hotel to the convention center, and there was a hill that was like climbing Mount Everest. And then, we're in Rhode Island.
That hill was big that we had to walk.
And we're going on this 10-mile walk to go get breakfast, and he flips over the handlebars. That's my fault.
Yes, it was your fault.
I make him do this 30-mile walk to Target when it's just, he doesn't.
Okay, so anyway.
I guarantee you if it was some kind of like flea market thing that had comic books, like it could be 75 miles and he wouldn't even know. He'd be like, oh my God, did you see this? Did you see that?
Okay, so first of all, coming back from Target, I know it, and she is saying I'm wrong, but we went a totally different way, and it was a great shot.
It was a totally different way.
It was the way when we walked to Target. Everyone, we had to go there because we needed magic markers for our show, right?
Okay. So
she takes me, Steve. We went this way, around the corner, up by the bend, down the dark alley, around the street, up, down this way, across the highway, and then the Target. On the way back, across the parking lot, by a swamp where the crocodiles were, and we were right back at the World Arena.
So if this is one side of the road, this is the other side of the road. We walked up this side of the road and came back this side of the road. It was directly across the street. So when he talks about these completely different routes,
it sounds like how it would normally happen.
And then,
we walked up the left side and came back the right side.
And then we come back, and I was like half dead. I needed like 18 bottles of water because it was like 95 degrees outside. And then what did she say? I'm hungry.
I was.
I didn't know when catering was coming. So I was like, all right. So we looked around, made sure no one was looking, and we headed off to Buffalo Wild Wings and came back, and catering brought all this food. And I was like, well.
I got to have cheesecake.
Yeah, I got suckered into buying cheesecake, Steve. Cheesecake. And I didn't have one bite.
You didn't get one bite? You didn't share?
He didn't want any.
Oh, okay. Well, Louis, you got to tell the whole side of the story.
He just likes to make me look bad.
No, I didn't want any. I didn't want any because And Joe McDonald, Joe, you didn't.
Speaking of drinking in a, this is
Oh,
my
you
water
didn't know.
bottle.
Joe, you didn't know we went to Buffalo Wild Wings? That was, I think it was Thursday. It was Thursday. We left after we set everything up. We left with the Buffalo Wild Wings and we came back. And Uncle Joe says, we never got any food.
I have to say, the best food I had that entire time was that sandwich that you and Joe had for me when I got off the plane.
Yes, that was a good. Now can we tell Steve? I think we should be okay. That Thursday night we did more work at the con. We were helping them continuing set up and everything. And Joe McDonald says they were running. Yeah, you guys were running trips for the boss. Jamie and I were doing a lot of setting up. We were doing all the audio tests and everything.
We were putting all the arrows over everything.
Yeah, we were doing all the trips down to the panel room. So, and Uncle Joe says that was a bar sandwich. And
yes, but I was freezing. I was hangry. I was miserable. My flight was delayed, 9,000 times. And everything in the airport was closed in Chicago. And I just wanted food and I wanted to go to bed and be warm. That was all I wanted.
And she gets to the hotel room. I had the AC down to like 55.
Oh my God. Seriously.
That's what I do.
It was 12
I walk into a hotel room. The first thing I do
degrees.
is crank the air conditioner. I put it at the lowest possible setting it could go.
I was like, who does this?
Yeah. Uncle Joe says, yes, I know we kept our distance.
Wait,
so
I
Steve,
just want to say, Jamie, is that a growler that you're drinking out of?
No, it's a gallon. This is how much water I drink every day. This is my daily water bottle. It has times 7, 9, 11. So I'm properly hydrated all the time. I usually actually have done by now.
Stay hydrated.
I'm slacking.
I'm just saying,
I love it.
It'd be a lot more
It's
fun.
like my baby. See?
it'll be a lot more fun if it was a growler. So
I
Steve,
put cool stickers on it.
I was accosted on Thursday night of Colorado Springs Comic-Con, and so was Jamie. Actually, we were both accosted by an individual.
Do we need to talk about this?
No, we won't say that. We will not say the person's name. We won't say the
Joe.
It was not Uncle. It was not Uncle Joe, and it was not Joe McDonald.
Uncle Joe was also accosted.
Yeah, Uncle Joe was also accosted, and Joe McDonald.
Joe, the nickname for our president right now.
So no, this is what happened. I was wearing a Hot Rod T-shirt, Rowdy Piper.
Sure.
And I wanted one of those sandwiches that Jamie had. We got back to the hotel room, and I was hungry, so we were like,
"We're just gonna go down and get a sandwich."
Yeah, let's go down and get a.
Just got up. We got back from the con. I worked out, so I smelled like an armpit and was all sweaty and gross. So I get up to the room and he says, "Oh, I'm really hungry. Let's just go down and get a sandwich." I'm like, "Okay." We're at the bar.
So
ordering your sandwich.
I go down. Now, the reason why I brought up the Roddy Piper shirt, I get down there, and the Honky Tonk Man was down there, and he looks over and he sees me and he calls me over. So I go over and he starts talking to me, and I sit down. I never sit down at a bar. I sit down at the bar next to him and we start chatting, and all of a sudden this individual comes over.
But Lou is talking to him like this. Like he had little Tweety birds and hearts coming out of his head.
I was sitting there talking to Honky Tonk. Yeah, we were talking wrestling and talking. Yeah, he was talking to me about music because I brought up some stuff about music. Well, we were talking about about wrestling, talking about the business, and I felt this person lean up against me and whispering in my ear and licking, backing my neck. And I turn around and look, and I can see the Honky Tonk Man just look at me and shake his head nice and slow. And I'm like, oh, no. Then that guy, that is a guy now doing this, is like, I want you to be my moderator. And I'm like, no, you got the other guys. I want you to be my mom. I'm like, no, you got the other guys. And then he's like, rubbing me. I'm like, no. And then he starts talking to the honky tonk man. And then he's like leaning on me. And then he sees Jamie. I was like, good, he's gonna leave me alone.
Yeah, he leaves Lou alone, and then he gives me the longest, most awkward hug in the planet of the world ever, and then he starts grabbing my butt, and I'm like, ugh. So I sit down. I'm like, okay, well, I can't grab my butt if I'm sitting.
So then
he finally, very gallant of you to literally take the psycho person and inflict him on Jamie. That was
that's
pure gallant. Let me tell you.
Well, let me tell you, these are the men in my life. Wait, I have to just interject a quick story of last night because the men in my life, like, so Lou does that. Last night, 2:00 in the morning, the doorbell rings. Now, nothing wakes me up, but the doorbell at 2:00 in the morning wakes me up. Turns out there was a thunderstorm and the power went out and came back on, and that triggered the doorbell, but I didn't hear the storm. So Ian's in bed next to me, and I'm like, why is the doorbell ringing? It's 2:00 in the morning. And he's like, there's a thunderstorm. I'm like, no, there isn't. Somebody's at the door. And like, you have to go check it. And he's like, I'm not getting out of bed. And I'm like, what if it's I'm like, well, what if there's a psycho killer at the door? And he goes, yeah, and all the windows are still open too. So here I go downstairs by myself to inspect the house while he's still up in bed. These are the men in my life.
So wait. Let me, Aviva, I did not leave Jamie Hagan. She was literally like, see my picture right here? That's how far away she was from me.
Yeah, but
I
he
just
didn't
turned
care.
my back.
As long as it was my butt getting grabbed and not his back getting licked, it was okay.
And then Uncle Joe says he was dying laughing. He was there, and it was one of the funniest things in the world. And what had happened is Monkey and I are then talking. We're talking more about wrestling. Joe McDonald then just proceeds to leave Jamie and Uncle Joe with the guy that we're talking about. He comes over and joins Honky and I. Now, we're in a crowded area, and Joe is joining in on a conversation of wrestling and music. All of a sudden, Jamie now grabs me and says, get your sandwich. We have to go. What?
I'm like, just get your food. We got to go.
Because the drunk guy proceeded to yell at two kids that came into the bar area looking for autographs from the celebrities and said he wanted to. All I heard was the F word and your mom. That's all I heard. And man looked at me like, what the hell is going on? After Jamie grabbed me and said, grab your sandwich, we gotta go. Even the honky tonk man said, that's it, I'm gone. We all left. Had no idea what happened.
The room cleared.
The room cleared.
I can imagine. And Joe Guard, you should be ashamed of yourself. That action is not that's not appropriate.
What's that? Being at the table with me?
No, it wasn't Uncle Joe. He was
Joe's shoulder got licked too. It was,
and Aviva,
it was an equal. At least I would say the harassment was equal, and I did not get licked. I mean,
no, you didn't, but I did.
I'd rather have my butt grabbed by a weirdo than get licked by a weirdo.
Maybe that's a thing in Colorado Springs. Maybe backlicking is the new Colorado Spring form of harassment.
I do. I would have to say Colorado Springs at the after party. The best quote of the night would have to go to Uncle Joe. Said he was defending.
He was. Joe was my protector because Lude certainly wasn't. I was like, here's Jamie. Take her.
Lick her, not me.
And then he goes back to his honky tonk.
I would have to say the funniest line of the night at the after party would come from John Moxley as we were leaving the after.
Oh my God.
Steve, I really wish you were there with us because you would have had such a blast. Jamie and I were leaving. We left with the cast in The Mandalorian, their agent, and John Moxley. He was hanging out with us. AEW, excuse me, superstar John Moxley, and Mox looks at Sweet Caroline. Yes, when he was singing Sweet Caroline,
that was something.
He looked at Jamie and he said, "You're the only Wonder Woman for me, because you're the only Wonder Woman I ever met." I was like,
"Oh, I thought you were going to say the other."
I am
okay,
getting the other.
He's funny.
He looks at the after party room and he hits me, and he goes, "I have no reason for the rest of my life to go back in that room. For the rest of my life, ever. For the rest of my life."
But then he ends it with, "They told me they were going to have karaoke."
So I was like, okay, Mox. I was like, all right. But then I felt bad. There was this one kid that was, he became a super fan of the Angry.
Oh, yeah.
He's following us on Instagram, following us on Twitter, always liking our stuff, asking us when we're coming back to Colorado. He comes over to Mox.
He was in every panel.
Every panel, he was there, front row, cheering us on.
Like, he was just awesome.
And different cosplays, and he looked at Moxley and he said, "Hello, Mr. Moxley. How was your day today?" And Mox looked at him. Now, if there's anyone watching, please, I'm going to say a very bad word. Mox looked at him and said, "It was fucked up and it was all your fault." The poor kid started to freak out, started to shake and fall back. Jamie and I had to grab him, okay? We grabbed him and we were like, he's kidding. He's kidding. Now, the agent from the Mandalorian said, "What are you doing?" And Mox, "I was just joking." We were like, he's joking. He's joking. The poor kid had to excuse himself and he ran to the.
He almost fainted. Like,
and then
he was Mox
how old was he?
Like, he was, I mean, I would guess in his early 20s maybe, but he was like, definitely, he was like special needs. He was very, very, like, even with our panels, he says, "I'm really sorry if I asked too many questions." And I said, no, your questions are perfect. He didn't, he was just really, the whole time, kind of felt like he was, I guess, messing things up, even though he wasn't, because he kept asking for that reassurance that he wasn't doing something wrong. So when Moxley said that, he took it seriously, and it just was like, oof.
And Mox was like, I was kidding. I'm like, it's okay, we'll handle it. But it was just like, that was the wrong person to joke with.
Yeah.
So I really think, because the poor kid was like, he was like, "I gotta go." And I think he peed himself.
I was going to say, he probably already did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good
night, Joe.
Good night, Uncle Joe. We'll see you soon. I got to go to the office. I'm just waiting for the okay. I got to go pick up the anchor. So maybe I'll see you there.
Can I just point out my new background really quick? Because it has
I'm digging
Woman.
it.
Wait. Wonder Woman, we know I love. And it says, "Tacos. Yes, you made.
Yeah, tacos.
What's better than Wonder Woman and tacos?"
Me and you.
They're my two favorite
Wonder
things.
Woman and, tacos. You can't beat it.
They are my two favorite. And I found a background.
Look at that. And Joe McDonald says that kid has been at every Colorado show since year one. He saw me and gave me.
I loved him. I felt like he was kind of like my adopted son that whole time. Every time I saw him, I would check in and like, "Did you have something to drink? Are you staying hydrated? Have you eaten today?" Like, that's me.
Yeah, he was.
So,
it was fun. Another highlight for Colorado is Steve. Jamie and I were kind of required to go to the after party, so we go to the after parties and we're wallflowers. Yeah. Well, no, we don't do anything. We just lean up against the wall, mind our own business.
And we people watch. I love to people watch, especially at after parties.
Do you make up stories and backgrounds about people that you may not necessarily know?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, drunk people equal funny. Plain and simple, drunk people equal funny. And we're sitting there, and we've already had our panels for the day. Of course, we had our show, and we're leaning up against the wall, and
we were doing that. We were talking about the people, and Lou taps on me, and he goes, "Oh my God, I think they're pointing at us." And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Who? He's like, the Mandalorian people. They're pointing at us. And I'm like, no, they're not. He's like, look. And I look over, and they're like, and I look at him, I'm like, oh my God, Lou, I think they want us to go over. It was like, I'm like, what do we do?
And she goes, "Come on, we're going." I'm like, okay.
I was like, we have to go over. They're clearly, they know we saw them now. We can't just not go.
So we spent the whole night with them, and Chris Barnett, C-3PO, was one of the coolest cats that I have ever met in my life.
They are a really great group of people. Like, so down to earth. Like Misty, I was sitting with her, and it was her and then Chris, and Lou was all the way over here. So those two were kind of having their own conversation, and Misty and Daisy, who's the agent, and we were all like talking, and it was just like, it was probably the best after party I've ever been to.
Yeah, and it was just great. And he was like talking to me. Then he stopped me. Goes, "Oh, I almost slipped. I'm like, oh, just telling me so stuff. I can't wait. Rhode Island Comic Con is going to be fantastic.
I'm looking forward.
And yes, Donald, we did see all the ones. And a little tidbit: Jamie and I were requested to be on stage with them again, as well as Leave It to Beaver and the Banana Splits. So yes, the agent from Leave It to Beaver and Banana Splits has requested Jamie and I to be on stage with them again, and the agent from The Mandalorian requested us to be on stage with the Mandalorian's cast members again. Steve, please tell everyone where they can find you and all about our loving sponsor.
Anybody has any questions about CBCS or comic book grading, just go to cbcscomics.com and you'll find all the information that you need. And thank you, guys.
Jamie?
Woo, woo. Can I just do something for a friend that has Kickstarter that comes out today?
Yes. And then yes, go ahead.
So a lot of you people probably know Jason Casey Art. He has his own coloring book that he's starting the Kickstarter tonight. And it actually started at 7. So, and it's another, like, I know you all seen that I've been coloring. I do that. But he has his own coloring book coming out that's similar to what I'm doing with his own artwork. So, it'd be awesome if you guys wanted to hop on. He has it on the link to it's on his Facebook page. I was not 100% prepared. But Jason Casey Art, and the book is called Finish These For Me, a coloring book by Jason Casey.
Well, why don't you get him on the show and book him? And we do have another.
I will do that.
Yeah, we do have another announcement. You guys seen them once before on the Angry Geek Show with Jamie and I, Joseph, Han, and Gabe from a toy store near you, all the way from Leicester, England. Well, they got a episode 1 of the Toy Shop Tour is up right now on YouTube, and Joseph has sent me over a message, and asked me to have you guys run over to their YouTube channel and check out the Toy Shop Tour. So please go over there and check it out. Jamie and I are going to have Joe and Gabe on the show within the next coming weeks. So we're going to be talking to them all the way from Mario, England, pretty soon. And Jamie will talk about tea and crumpets with them once again. And
tea and crumpets, and they will talk about my water bottle as well.
And they will. And Papa, hi, Papa, how are you?
Hi.
And I got to do one thing before we sign off for the evening.
Oh my God, I had chicken nuggets for dinner tonight.
You had chicken nuggets. Hold on 1 second. I just have to do this.
Hi, Papa. Papa, can you hear me, Papa? Papa.
That's just my ears.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, so you can find us at www.theangrygeekshow.com or on Facebook and Instagram at The Angry Geeks. I'm everywhere at that Wonder Woman .1.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I am Louis Perry. That's Jamie Dolan. And this is Steve. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, Papa. I miss you.
Oh, my poor ear.
Bye.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.